Okay, in this video, I'm just going to show you real quick how to get data set uploaded into Tableau, and then that way you can start to sort of mess around with all the interesting data visualizations. So here I just have a folder on my computer that has a bunch of data sets. This is the data set in particular that I'm interested in uploading into Tableau. Notice that this is an Excel data set. Tableau only has a fairly limited set of acceptable data sets, Excel being one of them. This is nice, of course, because a lot of data sets end up being saved in Excel. And even if a data set isn't an Excel file, you can often convert it into an Excel file with relative ease. So anyway, this is the goal. We want to get this data set, which is on my computer. Okay, so here we are on the Tableau landing page. This is where you should end up when you log in to the Tableau online website. Over here to the left, of course, you have the menu and all the various places to look. If you click on Explore, this is actually going to get you where you want to go. And if you're trying to get data into Stata, you want to start with inside of a particular folder. So you either create another folder or you put a data set inside of an existing folder. I've gone ahead and created this particular folder, so this is where I want to put the data. Once you're inside of a folder, you create the data set by clicking Create, clicking Workbook, and then it actually brings up the next page, which is a request of where the data will come from. Tableau has all sorts of data ways to get data inside of it. You can actually get data from the Tableau website by clicking the data Superstore data source and going through and looking all at those. You can also get it through different connectors and all sorts of interesting places to get data sets there. Or of course, you can just download data sets from your computer, and of course that's the goal here. So if I just click Files and then click Upload from Computer, and then at this point, normally I would have to click around a little bit, but it brings up precisely the folder that I want. So again, this is the data set that I want to get into Tableau. And so I just open this inside of Tableau, and it takes a second to load up. Now what this data set is, if we go and look at it inside of Excel, you'll see that it's a data set that has country level data beginning in 1960 through 2018, and it has all sorts of data, male population, female population, general population, and it has a bunch of emissions data, CO2, CO2 from various sources, methane, so on and so forth. And so it's a data set that's fairly large. It has most countries in the world from 1960 through 2018. There are, of course, big chunks of missing data. We don't have every bit of data from every country, but again, it's still a fairly rich data set. So just to kind of give you what this data set looks like in Excel. Now, if we go back over to Tableau, we'll of course see that it's fairly different. Over here to the left, you'll see that there are two categories. It seems to have split our variable names into two categories, dimensions and measures. Dimensions are things like the actual names of the countries or the years. One thing I noticed in this particular data set is that when I uploaded it, it puts my year variable, which is T, it categorizes it as a measure instead of as a dimension where we would want it to be. It's easy to fix. If we just click here, go to change data type, and select date, which it is, this is years. So if we select date, we'll see that it in fact moves that up into sort of manipulate our data and look at it. So for example, if we want to look at a particular country's CO2 emissions over a particular time period, we can move the name category over and put it as a row, and you'll notice that this presents now a display of those names. At this point, you can start to filter. So we can look at only certain countries, for example. So let's let's just pick some random countries. Greece. Let's see. Kenya and Kuwait. So now we have three countries to sort of begin our sheet. We can move the time component over as well. This is going to give us an idea of let's do this. Let's put the names here. There we go. And then we'll put CO2 here. All right, there we go. So we can see now we have three nice data visualizations. We have CO2 emissions in these given countries over the time period, about 1960 through 2000, looks like 16. And as you can see here, we get these nice visuals. So we just see what the CO2 emissions look like in the respective countries over that particular time period. And again, this is a data set which came from my computer, which I got into Tableau. And in a fairly quick fashion, I'm able to generate some, nice looking and interesting graphs. And so at this point, once you have Excel files on your computer and you sort of know what they look like, you should be able to, at that point, start to sort of move around and mess around with data sets. So give it a try when you get a chance.